So let's talk about what data my Google Workspace admin can see. And this video is aimed at users of a Google Workspace domain who may not be the administrator of that domain, but it's also useful information for admins as well, so you can see just what you can see into other accounts that are on your domain. Now, this is not really about Google being scary or the system being scary. This is just revealing and opening the back door of what the actual administration system of a Workspace account is. And so if you're currently working in a business and you're using Google, this is what the admins actually have in terms of control as into what they can see into your accounts. So every admin has access to the admin panel of what was G Suite and is now Google Workspace. And so this is basically the place that you go to manage everything to do with the account. And you can see there's options there for adding users, managing groups, changing, creating the settings for different devices. And you can do things like upload your logo. So when you're using Gmail, everyone has the same logo there. And here is the user menu where someone can basically add and remove users, change passwords, reset passwords, and update any of the user accounts inside an organization. Now, the number one tool that business owners have when it comes to, let's say, peeking into the data of their users is a tool called Google Vault. Now, this is not available for all editions of Google Workspace, and so you have to be a business extra plan to actually get access to this. Previously, it was available in the business standard plan, but it's now actually recently been moved. And Google Vault is basically a secure place where a carbon copy of every email that comes in and out of the business and other files as well gets stored. And what that means is that anytime a piece of data comes in or out of your organization in Google Workspace, a copy gets taken and it gets placed in Google Vault. And that's even if someone deletes that piece of data. And so if you're a legal firm or a consulting company, or maybe you're working in accounting and you've got the needs of compliance where you need to keep a copy of records, maybe you're even in the medical field or financial services, then you can use Google Vault to actually store a copy of all of the information going in and out of the business. And that means that, where some businesses will manually drag and drop files into folders as their way of storing things, this just basically does it all automatically and then allows you to search for the records anytime you need to, which is nice and convenient. So inside Google Vault, this is what it looks like. We have some controls here where we can choose how much data is kept and for how long. And so inside my Google Vault here, inside our business, you can see we've just chosen to keep all messages, keep all files in Google Drive, keep all chats, and keep all meeting records as well. And we can choose to keep those indefinitely. We've got options there for some businesses who may wish to let go of the data after a certain amount of time, but in our business, we just choose to keep everything because there's no storage limit. And for me, I'd prefer to just keep copies of absolutely everything just in case anything goes wrong. Now, if you're a business owner, you may be in the situation where you've provided a quote to a customer, or maybe something happened like 2 or 3 years ago, and the customer comes back to you and they say, hey, I want the same price as last time. Or maybe they say, hey, I want to sue you for that work that you did 3 years ago. And so having a full record of absolutely everything that's happened in the business is very, very useful in those situations. So this is what the search looks like. Basically, anyone who has access to Vault, which is admins only, they can go in and run a search. And that's basically going to show you everything happening in the business, and you'll be able to see all of the files and all of the emails that have been stored there, which is a super convenient feature. The next way that someone can get access to your account is through a password reset. And this is basically like the smoking gun for anyone working in any kind of Google business. Basically, any admin is able to reset the password of any other user within the business, and then they can effectively log into the account. Now, it doesn't matter if you have your phone registered or set up on the account as a two-factor authentication device, because an administrator has the ability to generate backup codes, which means they can effectively circumvent you needing to have your mobile phone on you to get access to that account. Now, is that unfair on the end users? You could argue so, but also most businesses have in their employment contract that an administrator on IT or technology can actually look into and access any of the company records, and emails are counted as company records. And so basically all that person needs to do is reset the password and they can go ahead and log straight into your account and basically access anything to do with the user's account. Now, this is pretty standard practice in IT that when an employee leaves a business, you'll actually grab that person's files, grab that person's emails, and archive them all somewhere, just in case there's a legal suit or anything that happens in the future. And so all those company records are kept. And so you might be asking, How can I protect myself from an admin seeing my data? Or, what if I don't want them to see data that I have in my business account? Well, the easiest way to do that is to not store anything in there that you do not want the owner of the business to potentially see. Basically, being a business account is company property. And what that means is, even though it's cloud-based, someone else has the ability to jump into those files and get access to all of them easily. And so my advice is, if you're using company resources, keep it to company business. If you're a business owner and you haven't already done a growth roadmap session with our team, then head along to itgenius.com for a fresh consultation. We also have videos for each stage of business that you're at with specific training, no matter what stage of business you are in right now. So head along to our YouTube channel and go to the playlists tab, and inside playlists, you'll see a playlist for launch, for startup, for growth, for accelerate. And there you have specific videos, no matter what stage of business you're in right now. We have a transfer in offer, which is a free offer which gives you a bunch of value if you're an existing Workspace user. And so how that offer is that effectively you get access to our Google Classroom, which has training for you and your team, including free certifications for everything to do with Google Workspace. You also get access to exclusive content that we don't publish publicly, like access to the online games that we play with our team and additional training on how we run a remote company with over 50 employees all over the world, all working from home and successfully scaling our business over the course of many years. And so all of that is available inside our Google Classroom. Now, how do you get access to that? Head along to itgenius.com/transfer. You get access to our free classroom lessons. Our team will do a free check of your DNS just to make sure you've got everything set up in your Workspace account. We also have the emergency access to your account just in case anything goes wrong with your access. And of course, you get access to our concierge team. We do some very limited free support for those that transfer in. So head along there, and if you have any other questions at all that you need help with, head along to itgenius.com/chat. You can chat to our team right now, and they'll be available there to help out with anything you need in the business. Thank you so much for coming along. Great to have you here. If you were on the lives that stuffed up a couple of times, thank you so much for your patience, and we will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.